Yes, good afternoon, Darshan. We will still wait while your friends are joining the session. Okay, in the last lab session, I'm sharing the screen already. It is shared. Just look at the questions and let me know which is the last question that we have done in your last lab session. Okay, so from third question it is left, right? Okay, fine, no issues. So we can begin with that question. In the thread question, it is mentioned that we need to create 3 threads in synchronization that will reduce the input number by 1 every time and display the output as follows. Okay, so the output is displayed in the decremented fashion. So we will need one function that is, see, in the first output example, it is shown that the threads are decremented as 15 to 1. In the second, it is mentioned it is decremented from 10 to 1. And in third, it is 5 to 1. So definitely this function that you are going to use here is taking some parameter in the input. That is the first thing we have to keep in mind. Next thing is, if it is taking some parameter in the input, then it cannot be our run function, because your run function is without parameters. Your public void run, say for example, you are creating a class and you are overriding your run method. Whether you are extending thread here or you are implementing runnable, it doesn't matter. Whether you're extending thread or you are implementing runnable, it doesn't matter. Your run method is not having any parameters here. So it is, and this function is working on parameters because it is taking different ending limit and it is reaching till 1. That we know. So what we can do is, we can create another class. We can, create another class and we can call that other class's function by passing the number inside it, where OB is nothing but the object of, say for example, demo class, whatever the name of the class you want, you can take. And in this class, we are simply having one print function which is taking some number as the input, and it is in the for loop, it is printing from n to 1. Like this we can think of, right? Is so far things getting clear in your mind what I'm trying to explain you here? Okay, then this is the thing. And again, one more thing, that if you are accessing with multiple threads, then you need to keep this method synchronized, so that if one of the thread is achieving that it is printing 15 to 1 or 10 to 1 or 5 to 1, then at the same time other threads are not allocated CPU. So you can make sure by adding the synchronized keyword over here, right? You can add the synchronized keyword over here and you can make sure that it is achieved in multi-threading. And simply what you are doing, you are simply implementing runnable. And now to achieve multi-threading, as you are calling your print in your run function, then this class is a thread object you need to create. In the sense what I am telling, in your main class, whenever you are creating your public static void main, we all know that we need to, whenever you are implementing runnable, you need to create the object of test and then pass that object into thread classes object to start the thread. So we can create one object OB of test class, and while creating thread 1, you can pass that OB here and you can start your t1.start. This will automatically call your run method, and run intern is calling your num, which this number is getting passed over here and it is printing n to 1. Is so far things getting clear in your mind what you need to do? Okay. Then one more small thing that I want to convey here is that to achieve this OB or to have this OB written over here, to write this OB in such a way that for see, this is the object when you are creating. For this object, for this, for this first number to work, say for example, I am passing that number here itself in the test class constructor, and I am creating a constructor simply to initialize your global variable n. I am simply doing this so that I can, pass that number over there. I am simply taking the help of the constructors, and so that I can get this number passed over here, which in turn will print this thing. Now, if I am passing here 15, it is going to work for one object only. What if I want to print the same thing for 10 and 5 also, or for any number that user inputs? In that case, again, you will require to create, 3 more objects, right? OB1, OB2, and OB3. This is using 10, this is using 5. And your T1 is created using OB1. You can make your T2 create using OB2, and your T3 created using OB3, so that we can make sure that it is working in that fashion. Now, the thing to notice here is that this is okay. You are creating 3 different threads for 3 different objects because you want your n number to different varying values. That is okay. The thing that I am trying to convey here is that whenever you are achieving this OB.print here, in a sense, your OB is nothing but the object of demo class. Then every thread which is starting its multi-threading operation and it is calling run method is creating different OBs in its memory. Then it is separate memory, no need for synchronization. Because every thread is going to have different memory allocation for different, it is creating individual OBs on its own. But what we want is your OB should be same, in the sense your print function should be same, and for whatever number of objects you are creating of your this class, of your demo class, sorry, of your test class, which is creating 3 different threads. For whatever number of threads you are creating, all the threads should be accessing the same block of memory, ob.print, in the sense OB is the object of your print class, which is having the print method. So if we do something like this, if we want to achieve synchronization in this way, then all the threads should point to the same memory location of print, meaning this OB should be only one, meaning our demo classes object should be only one for achieving synchronization, for achieving multi-threading and then synchronization from there. So if we want to achieve something like that, then we have to create the object of our demo class here itself, and we can directly pass this O over here in such a way. This we have already done in producer and consumer. We are passing O here in such a way that now along with this you are also taking demos object O here, in the sense you have your demos OB reference, and you are also initializing this OB with O, so that we don't need to create different objects here. We can directly call ob.print, and as all these objects are created using the same object O from your demo class, all the test objects are pointing to, or they are allocated they are having the same memory of O, so that whenever you are passing O here, it is initialized with this reference, and whenever you are calling print, it is called using the same memory. So this print function is currently being accessed with all the 3 objects. That is the use of multi-threading, and for that we need synchronization, because all the 3 threads are accessing the same memory block O, and we don't want to change that block of memory. Yes, are you getting the concept that I am trying to explain here? Yes. Now, please try to implement this approach. And if anybody is having any questions, you can just let me know. I will help you out. Why I am using a separate class for print? Why we are not? Because we want different parameters over here. That is why we are using a separate class, a separate method. Because run cannot have numbered passed over here. It cannot use numbers over there. Yes, please try to implement this. If anybody is having any question, let me know. I will help you out. Yes, anybody done with the first question? Or they're still working on it? Okay, fine, fine, no problem. If anybody is facing any issues, just unmute and let me know.
Ma'am, I am getting error. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please share your screen.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yes, I am able to see your screen. Yeah. What is the error? Okay, scroll down. Okay. Okay, the print method should be synchronized. It is not an error, but what is the error that okay, it is getting printed properly, but you don't know which thread is currently printing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now, please stop sharing a screen for a second. I will share my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. For printing, which thread is currently printing which of the number? For that, see, as soon as you are printing here n, or whenever you are passing here your number, along with that, you can also pass one more argument, which is of a type string. If you remember the get name function, which can extract the name of the thread. So it is of a type string. So you can pass that name over here, and that name can be received here in a variable of type string. And along in the loop, when you are printing your n, along with that, you can concatenate the name like this. Getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. One more thing. If, see, this get name is a method of a thread class. So whenever you are extending this with a thread, no, at that time it is easily available. But now when you are implementing it with runnable interface, no, at that time, as you, it is not extended with a thread class, we need to point to current thread. So current thread dot get name will do the trick. Got it? Please try that. Done, Darshan? Yes, yes, yes. Please share your screen once.
It is visible.
Yes. Okay, this is the case when it is not synchronized, right? Is your print method synchronized? No, right? See the output now. In the output, any of the thread could get the CPU randomly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now try to add the synchronized keyword in front of your print function
Here.
before void print.
Okay, ma'am.
Before void, yes. Before void print, just add a synchronized keyword. Then check the output again. It should be in a fashion when CPU is allocated to thread 1, other two threads have to be in the waiting state and they will not be able to access the print function. Yes, is it working now fine? Yes, Farma, done. Yes, Shri, what about you? Done with the first question?
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Yes, yes. Please share your screen once. Yes. Uh, yes, now you have to add. Yes, if you add a synchronized. Okay, like this you have done. Okay, then also it is okay. Yes, yes, yes. Correct, correct, correct. Either you can make synchronized block or you can add synchronized in front of void print. Both is correct. Good, good. Done, done, done.
Ma'am, next.
Yes, yes. So please stop sharing. I will just share the next question. Mm, yes. Now we have done a few of the programs of file handling in your lecture session. We are going to do the lab manual practicals now here. So this 19th question, it states that you have to input the name of the file from user and you need to print every line from that file in lowercase. So step number one is create a text file on your own in Windows and write some lines inside it so that we can read that data from that file. Once you are done creating the text file, then we have to read the data. So we take the input of file name from user. First step in the program, you can take the input of file name from user. Second step is user has entered the file name. Whatever is the file name, it should be in type string because it will include, some text like this here.txt. Whatever is the file name, in this format, user will input the path along with the destination of the file. So second step is we can create the file. See, you have to read the file. So for reading, we can first create the file object and make it point to this string that user has entered. I am simply copying it for now and writing it here along with the path. Third step is to create the scanners object so that we can read the data from the file. Now, to create the scanner object that is capable of reading the data from the file, we need to pass this f object here so that henceforth your scanners object is capable of reading the data from this so and so file. To read this data infinitely till it reaches the end, we can create a while loop that can run till your file is having next line. So it is going to work infinitely till your file has not reached the end of the file, till your scanner is not done. Till reading the file, it is going to return true. Till it is having next line, you have to read it. Reading line by line. Again, reading the line meaning reading using next line. And it is mentioned that you need to print these lines in lowercase. So to print, you can just s out string dot to lowercase. Getting it? What we need to do here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please try this question.
done, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
please share your screen.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Yes. Okay. You are mentioning the name of the. Okay. Yes. And yes, correct. It is showing. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, that is correct. Good, good. Yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. Yeah. It is just showing the error because I think exception you have to throw. Otherwise, it is correct. Yes, yes. And I think one bracket is missing at the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Correct, correct. Good, good, good. Yes. Now, in the next question, you just have to count the number of words that file is having. So, to count the number of words, we can use here next itself. While there are more number of words in that file, read each of the word and increment the counter. Instead of printing anything, just increment the counter and at last print the number of words that file is having. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
That is the next question of your lab manual. Write a program that counts the number of words of the text file whose name is accepted from user from standard input, and also print the size of the file in the sense print the length of the file by using the length function f dot length. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please try that question.
Done, ma'am.
Yes, yes, please share your screen. Yes, 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 correct, correct, correct. Yes, good, good, good. Yes. In the last question, yes, in the last question, we simply need to copy the content of one file into another file. So one of the file is already having its content. You already have created one file, and we need to copy those contents in another file. There are various ways to do that. So here in the question, they have mentioned to use buffered input stream, file input stream, and buffered output stream, file in output stream. I suggest you first try that using scanner and file writer and file reader, and then we can move on to this four classes. To read the data from one file and copy it into another, you will need two files actually. So one already having data a.txt, and create one dummy file with no data into it, and you can name it as b.txt. So you can read the data line by line from your scanner object, line by line, and at the same time you can create your file writer object fr with your f file inside it. So this object will be for writing the data to the file, and this object will be reading the data from a.txt, and this will be writing the data to b.txt. While you are reading the data, at the same time you can write fr dot write this str to your file. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
And at the end, don't forget to close your fr. Otherwise, your data will not be saved into your file. That is it. Please try this question.
Ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Darshan.
Ma'am, code is working, but data couldn't be copied. Data मतलब copy नहीं हो रहा है.
Okay, can you please share your screen once?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If I run,
Okay. Yeah. No, no, no. You need to close both the files. See, the notepads are open, no?
yes, ma'am.
You just close both the notepads. Now try. Oh,
Nothing.
okay. Okay, okay, okay. Yes. Please show me your program once again. You are creating the scanner to read from file. You are writing. Okay, FR is created for file 2. Okay. And while your S is having next line, you are reading next line, you are writing it into the. Yes, it is correct only. Can you show me your line.txt once?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
It could erase 1 minute with my writing.
yes, yes, yes. Just try to write something. Then close both the notepads.
Now,
Yes, it is working, right?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Good, good, good. Yes. Now, if the same thing, you can stop sharing, no problem. Uh, yes. If the same thing is asked using, file input stream and file output stream, then again, only the stream methods will change. Everything else will remain the same. In the file input stream object, you have to mention the name of or the path of the file, which is your source. From where do you want to copy? Okay. And in your file output stream, we need to mention the path of your destination file. That will be your file output stream. Say for example, f out. Yes. This will be your destination where you want to save the data. And the loop is also the same. While you are reading the data, that loop will remain the same. But as this is going to work with bytes, here we can, in the lab sessions we have, in the lecture sessions we have seen, you can read the data using read function. And this read will return -1 once you have reached the end of the file. So your fin.read is the function which reads the data. It is storing this in I, and when this complete operation, this complete bracket is returning -1, till that point only it is reading, and it is writing the data to your, you're not printing, you're simply writing it. So f out dot write. What do you want to write? Your I in your file. And at last you need to close both the streams, input stream and output stream. Both you can close like this. So this is reading in terms of bytes. So we are storing it in integer and then we are again writing the integer, but it will be again written in terms of bytes only. One byte. Till your read operation is returning -1. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please try this. That is the last question of your file handling.
Done, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, yes, please share your screen. Yes, okay. Yes, correct. Is it shifting? Yes, yes,
Yes.
correct. Correct, correct. Good, good, good. Done, done, done. Then from your lab manual, now the only questions left are your appellate questions, which you are going to see along with your lecture sessions. We are not going to see this in lab. I don't think you will get any labs now. But if we get a chance, then okay. Otherwise, these questions, like today is the first question that I have shown you. In the same manner, we'll do the rest of the three questions in the lecture sessions itself. While we teach the concept alongside, we'll do the questions also. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Yes, if anybody is having any queries, you can stay in the session. Otherwise, please mention your numbers in the chat box and then you all can leave the session. Yes, Dhruvi, Divyajit, you can mention your numbers in the chat box and then leave the session. Yes, Pala, please mention your number in the chat box and then leave the session.